The rain hammered down without mercy on that gray March afternoon in Seattle, turning the path outside Evergreen Memorial Gardens into a slick mirror of the sky. I stood there frozen, my daughter Chloe's tiny fingers wrapped so tight around mine that her knuckles went white. At 7 years old, she shouldn't have had to feel this kind of rejection, this kind of public dismissal. Her little voice cracked through the downpour. "Mommy, why won't Grandma and Grandpa let us come inside with everyone else? Why do they look at me like that?" I had no words that wouldn't shatter her further. How do you tell a child that her own grandparents just erased her existence in front of the entire family? My partner Riley's arms stayed firm around my shoulders, a silent anchor in the storm. We had just watched my parents, Daniel and Elena Thompson, announce to the gathered mourners that Grandma Beatrice's generous bequest, the one she had explicitly told me was for Chloe's future education, would instead fund college funds for my sister Lauren's future children. The applause that followed felt like knives. My name is Ava Thompson. For 34 years, I'd carried the weight of being the invisible daughter in a family that photographed perfectly for holiday cards. I taught 3rd grade at a public elementary school in Capitol Hill, pouring my heart into kids who reminded me daily why the work mattered. It wasn't glamorous like Lauren's influencer lifestyle brand, the one where she posed in designer clothes and luxury vacations she never actually paid for herself. My parents never missed a chance to remind me how much more ambitious my younger sister was. The favoritism started so early it felt normal. When I brought home perfect report cards, my father would barely glance up from his architectural blueprints and mutter something about needing to aim higher. When Lauren scraped by with C's, the house filled with celebrations, new clothes, trips to the mall. My statewide teaching award got a polite nod, and a suggestion that I should switch to administration for the bigger paycheck. Lauren's Instagram launch? They wired her $50,000 without blinking. "You should learn from your sister," my mother would say with that tight smile. "She knows how to shine." College exposed the financial double standard in the harshest light. My parents covered Lauren's full private university tuition across 4 major changes. For me, they offered a token contribution toward community college first, insisting self-sufficiency would build character. I worked nights at a coffee shop and graduated from the University of Washington with $45,000 in loans that still haunted my credit score. Lauren's extravagant wedding to her trader husband, complete with country club reception and magazine feature, was fully funded by them. When I introduced Riley, my mother pulled me aside. "Did you really have to do this right before Lauren's big day?" The patterns ran deeper than money. Every achievement of mine was downplayed, every misstep magnified. When Lauren needed $20,000 for her latest business pivot after already defaulting on $15,000 in wedding extras, my refusal brought lectures about family loyalty. "Family helps family," my father would say. Translation: Ava helps Lauren. Grandma Beatrice had been my lifeline. She attended my graduation when my parents claimed they couldn't miss Lauren's dance competition. She sent notes of encouragement during my teaching credential program. She welcomed Riley with genuine warmth and fell instantly in love with Chloe from the day I adopted her as a single mom. 2 weeks before she passed, Grandma called me to her bedside at the Harborview Nursing Center. Her voice was frail, but her eyes sharp. "Ava, I've set aside $75,000 for Chloe's education. I've already told your parents, it's specifically for you too. They know my wishes." She squeezed my hand. "I've watched how they've treated you. This is my way of making it right." After the funeral service, everyone gathered at my parents' spacious Lake Washington home. I stood in the corner with Chloe while Riley fetched punch. My father clinked his glass. Mother was generous to the end. "We're establishing a $75,000 college fund for Lauren and Marcus's future children." The room blurred. Riley's grip tightened on my arm. Chloe whispered, "Mommy, aren't I Grandma Beatrice's great-grandchild too?" Riley knelt. "Of course you are." Baby. I confronted them privately in my father's study. Grandma told me that money was for Chloe. She made it clear to you. My mother's face hardened.
Ava. Always so self-centered.
That money will do more good for a traditional family starting out. Lauren is expecting. You'll have nieces and nephews who need it. Chloe is already here, I said, voice rising. She's 7. The only great-grandchild Grandma actually knew. My father dismissed me. You chose single motherhood. Then you brought Riley into it. These are your lifestyle choices. Don't expect us to subsidize them. Riley stepped in from the doorway. We're leaving. Chloe deserves to be around people who actually love her. As we headed out, Lauren blocked us. Where are you going? The will reading is next week. Congratulations on the baby, I said flatly. Lauren laughed. Jealous much? Not my fault they love me more. That night, after tucking Chloe in, Riley and I sat at our kitchen table. I can't keep exposing her to this cruelty, I whispered. Riley took my hands. Biology isn't a free pass for emotional abuse.
Ava.
They've gaslit you for decades. You're too sensitive. You're imagining things. Time to talk to a lawyer. The next morning I contacted a respected Seattle firm. Attorney Karen Blackwell listened carefully. Write down every detail of your conversation with your grandmother. We'll request the will from probate. Driving home, my mother called. Your behavior at the funeral was disgraceful. Storming out when Lauren shared her news. You told me to leave. Anyway, the reading is Tuesday at 2. Be there and act appropriately. I'll bring my own counsel. Silence. Your own lawyer? Don't be dramatic. I stopped at Harborview Nursing Center. Charge nurse Sarah greeted me warmly. When I asked about Grandma's intentions, she nodded. Beatrice was very clear. She wanted that money specifically for Chloe because she worried your parents wouldn't provide fairly. I'd be happy to put it in writing. By Tuesday, I had affidavits from Sarah and 2 other nurses. The wood-paneled conference room at Whitman Probate Services felt oppressively quiet on Tuesday afternoon. I sat across from my parents, Lauren, and Marcus. Karen sat beside me. Mr. Whitman, a precise man with wire-rimmed glasses, began with condolences. Beatrice was a client for decades. She was sharp until the end. He read the straightforward bequests first, personal items to relatives, donations to her church and local literacy programs. Then came the pivotal section. To my granddaughter, Ava Thompson, I leave $75,000 to be held in trust for the exclusive benefit of my great-granddaughter Chloe Grace Thompson's higher education. Ava will serve as trustee until Chloe turns 18. My mother gasped. My father's face flushed dark red. Lauren made a sharp sound of outrage. Mr. Whitman continued calmly. Beatrice included a personal statement. Ava, your dedication to teaching, your resilience despite unfair treatment, and your loving care of Chloe have filled me with pride. I regret not speaking up sooner. This gift is meant to ease Chloe's path. Tears stung my eyes. Karen squeezed my hand. My father interrupted. Mother clearly wasn't competent near the end. We had discussed spreading the money across all great-grandchildren. Mr. Whitman peered over his glasses. Your mother underwent a full cognitive assessment the day before signing. She was lucid. She also recorded a video statement. My mother snapped. She was manipulated.
Karen spoke up.
I have 3 affidavits from nursing staff confirming Beatrice's clarity and her explicit intent for Chloe.
Lauren pointed at me.
You've always been jealous. You probably pressured Grandma on her deathbed. Mr. Whitman silenced them. There's more. To my son Daniel and daughter-in-law Elena, $10,000 with a note. I have watched your blatant favoritism toward Lauren over Ava with dismay. I hope this disparity prompts reflection on the harm caused. The room went deathly silent. To Lauren, $5,000. You have received every advantage. Use this to cultivate independence and compassion rather than entitlement. Lauren burst into tears. The remainder of the estate, house and investments totaling over $400,000, was to be split equally between Daniel and me. My father shot up. This is outrageous. We're contesting everything. My mother added. She was being unduly influenced. Mr. Whitman remained composed. Based on my conversations with Beatrice, this was a deliberate correction. The video and medical assessment make contesting difficult and expensive. Afterward, my family stormed out. Karen and I stayed. They'll fight it, I said shakily. Possibly, but Beatrice prepared thoroughly. She felt she failed you by staying silent too long. This was her reckoning. In the weeks that followed, my parents filed the contest. The court hearing was tense. Mr. Whitman presented the video. Grandma Beatrice, clear-eyed, explaining how years of watching me diminished had weighed on her. Ava deserved better. Chloe deserves fairness. The judge dismissed the challenge swiftly. The cutoff was immediate and total. No calls. No texts. No invitations. At first the silence ached like a missing limb. Despite everything, they were my family. I had spent decades chasing approval that was never freely given. Riley reminded me gently. Their love came with conditions you could never meet. The inheritance brought practical change. We bought a modest home in a good school district. I set up Chloe's education trust exactly as directed. With part of my share, I launched an educational consulting side business, creating specialized curricula for neurodiverse learners. I still taught part-time because the classroom grounded me. 6 months later, an email from Marcus arrived. Lauren and I are separating. The pregnancy announcement was fabricated to secure inheritance favor. Your parents have been bankrolling us entirely. Now, they're demanding we become independent. Lauren's struggling. I didn't reply immediately. 3 weeks later, Lauren texted. Can we meet? Coffee shop downtown. She looked diminished, designer wardrobe gone, replaced by simple jeans. Marcus left. Mom and Dad cut support. They're suddenly preaching self-reliance. Her voice cracked. This is what you wanted,
Right?
to tear everything apart.
No.
Lauren, I wanted fairness. For Chloe. For me. She stared out the window. I don't know who I am without being the favorite. Everything was always handed to me. In that moment, I saw my sister not as tormentor, but as another casualty of our parents' toxic dynamic, just damaged differently. You can figure it out, I said softly. It's not too late. 2 years passed since Grandma Beatrice's funeral. The family map had redrawn itself in painful but necessary lines. My parents eventually sent a stiff dinner invitation, no apology. Just an awkward olive branch. I declined but left the door open for family counseling. They haven't accepted yet. Lauren and I maintain a cautious relationship. At 32, she landed her first real job as a marketing assistant. She remembers Chloe's birthdays now. Sometimes joins us for low-key brunches. The venom has faded into something quieter, more reflective. Riley and I married last spring in a small oceanside ceremony near Discovery Park. Chloe was our flower girl, scattering petals with serious concentration. Sarah the nurse attended, along with Mr. Whitman and Karen. We built a chosen family rooted in choice rather than obligation. My consulting business grew steadily. Workshops for teachers across Washington filled my schedule. Last month, I keynote a national education conference on inclusive curricula. The validation Grandmas Act provided ran deeper than money. After decades of being told I was too sensitive, that I imagined slights, Here was undeniable proof someone had seen the truth and refused to let it stand. Yesterday, Chloe, now 9, asked about her college fund while we baked cookies.
Mom.
What did great-grandma Beatrice believe in me for? I smiled. She believed in your potential. Just like I do. She made sure you had support for college. Chloe considered solemnly. Is that why we don't see Grandma and Grandpa Thompson much anymore? Yes, I said carefully. They're still learning that love shouldn't require earning. She hugged me tight. We're okay though. Right? We're more than okay. Looking back, Grandma Beatrice couldn't rewrite the past favoritism or the years of emotional neglect. But her final act forced sunlight into the shadows where the dysfunction thrived. Family should mean unconditional love. Yet, sometimes love demands boundaries. Sometimes it requires walking away until respect can be rebuilt. And sometimes the truest family is the one you intentionally create. The price of real connection isn't silence or shrinking yourself. It's honesty, even when it costs peace. Grandma paid that price for me. She chose truth over superficial harmony, justice over comfortable denial. In doing so, she freed us all, even those who haven't yet recognized their chains.